Hi, I'm Guna Mathivanan. Welcome to Simply Current Affairs. Before going into today's editorial discussion, let us finish the feedback for the question which I gave in the last video. Friends, if you are watching this video series for the first time, then please watch my introductory video given in the playlist to know how to participate in this answer writing program. This initiative is open to all. Friends, we have launched our exclusive current affairs and economy program targeting prelims 2026, that is 75 cross 75 current affairs program and economy full course. To know more about these programs, you can visit our website www.simplycurrentaffairs.com, or you can click the link given in the description, or you can WhatsApp to the number given in this video. Right. The question which I gave in the last class, India's flexible inflation targeting is due for a review in March 26. In this context, do you think India should revise inflation targets and measurement metrics? Substantiate your answer. See, the question is regarding FIT, flexible inflation targeting. By March 26, there is going to be a revision. Once in 5 years, this FIT will be revised. The FIT was launched in the year 2016. Right, once in 5 years it will be revised. Now in 26, there is going to be a revision. In this context, do you think that should we revise the inflation targets and the measurement metrics? Substantiate your answer. That means, should we change what we target in the FIT? What is your opinion? You can agree. It's not about agreement. So you can say that we need to change. Okay. Then list out the points. Why do you want to change? Or you can say no, we can continue with this FIT only. But there are something which has to be revised. That alone we can mention. What is the problem here? Most of the students, we know 36th question was regarding the problem in CPA. 37th question is the problem in, it's not problem, it's about reviewing FIT. So what you have done, you have mixed these two. Revision of CPA is different. Revision of FIT is different. Inside FIT you have CPI. So revision of CPA should be one of the point which you can mention in the FIT, but not the entire answer. So those students who wanted to change this FIT in the coming year, we have to change the FIT. You are putting the heading that the FIT has to be revised, and you are highlighting the problems with CPA. Other students, so you felt that no, let us continue this FIT. FIT is doing well. Let us continue with the FIT. But there are some problems which can be revised. What problem? Again, you are mentioning only about CPA. The question is regarding FIT. FIT is even more broader than CPA. So, let's say how, okay, if I want to write the answer, what I will do. So, I will highlight in the introduction part, I will highlight that. So, in the March 2026, we are going to revise this FIT. So FIT was introduced in 2016. Once in 5 years, the FIT targets are being revised. In 2026, the FIT is up for a revision. Right. So this FIT has been working well in the last 10 years. So you can highlight how FIT is doing well. Highlight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How FIT is doing well. Okay. So for example, first point. In FIT, first of all, we should know what are the points which is up for revision. In FIT, number 1, the flexible inflation targeting, it is focusing on headline inflation. Okay, so you want to continue with the existing FIT, you say that headline is better. If you want to change the FIT, you say why core could be better. Okay. So I will say headline is better because I have some reasons. I will say core headline is better. Okay. Second point, CPA. Should we continue with CPA or shall we go with WPA? Which is correct? Focusing on CPA is correct or focusing on WPA is correct? Focusing on CPA is correct. So we will continue with this. Number 3. Now in the CPA, we have an inflation threshold of 4%. Should we continue with this 4% threshold or shall we change it? Because 4% is the anchor rate, 4 plus or minus 2 we say, right? 4 is the anchor rate. Shall we keep the anchor rate as 4 or shall we increase or decrease? That is going to be, if you want to increase or decrease, that is a different perspective. If you want to continue with the 4%, write this 4% here. Then the next point is the range, 2 to 6% range. So should we increase the range? Should we decrease the range? That is what we are going to highlight. If you want to continue with the same range, great. Or you want to change, you highlight why you have to change. Right. So I am going to say that FIT is performing well. All these years, FIT is performing well. The average inflation is well within the range. So I highlight the positives of FIT. Then finally what I do, however, there are some points which has to be revised. Even in this FIT, there is something which has to be revised. What is the something? In that something, CPI can be one of the point. In that something, CPI can be one of the point. For example, we have to come up with a revision in the CPI's base year, CPI's basket weightage, okay, to reflect the current reality. That can be one point. Another point we can say, this range is fine, but hanging at the ends, for example, maintaining inflation at 6% for continuously for 1 year, that cannot be called as an effective monetary policy. That cannot be called as an effective flexible inflation targeting. Or maintaining inflation at 2% for long cannot be effective. We have to anchor it at 4%. This extreme threshold flexibility is given for the RBI to adjust itself to the growing externalities. At the same time, we can have a time range. I always try to bring inflation to 4%. However, when it goes to the extremes, 2% or 6%, let there be a time range. Okay, such suggestions can be given. Only if we are going to hide about CPI, then the answer will be lopsided. Are you able to understand? So, if you want, you can also suggest, right, from CPI, if you want, we can go for producer price index. If you want to suggest, producer price index is also largely being debated right now. In India, that is not in debate, but globally people say that instead of CPI, WPI, we can go for PPI. Okay, so don't restrict your answer only with CPI. If the question is regarding CPI, then give a detailed account. The question is regarding FIT, okay, so let the CPI part be little. And also suggest that, you can suggest, see, whatever having said and done, whatever RBI does through flexible inflation targeting, that will be relevant only when government's fiscal policy is also in tune with the objective of monetary policy. If both are having different objectives, then we cannot control inflation. Many students did not mention that. Many students did not mention about this core and headline conflict. Okay, so highlight what is FIT. Highlight it will be reviewed once in 5 years. Highlight in 2026 there is a due for the revision, right? So you can highlight that FIT is working well. Substantiate it is working well. Substantiate your points. Okay, or you can say a review of FIT. You highlight how FIT is working well. Then you can say that as it working well, it is working well. It does not disturb the FIT. However, a small revisions can be introduced in the measurement metrics of FIT to make it more holistic. You can put another subheading. You can highlight what changes can be introduced. Then finally, you give a conclusion. Right. So here we have taken the answer. We have taken the answer of Balamina. Okay. So Balamina, your introduction is fine. Flexible FIT launched in 2016 through RBI Act Amendment 4+ and CPI target. It is due for review in 2026, necessitating a reflection on the target measurement reforms. Good. Should India revise inflation target? See, don't explicitly say no, don't explicitly say yes. Maybe what you could have done is, should India revise the targets? Don't write no only. Put a question mark and highlight the answer and highlight the content. Okay, so you are highlighting the positives. FIT has kept the inflation around the target in most years. Fine. Headline CPI remains welfare relevant, retaining 4% target, protect poor households vulnerable to food and fuel shocks. Okay. Frequent changes in target disrupts market signaling. So wage, not able to understand what I have written here, and instability in the investment planning. See, this point I cannot take because in 2016 we came with inflation targeting FIT. It's been almost 10 years. When did we change? Okay, this point cannot be taken. The fourth point, growth inflation balance maintained. So current 2 to 6% allows monetary flexibility during the supply shocks as seen during COVID and oil spikes. So fourth point is fine. So your first point, second point, fourth point is convincing, and that says that we have to continue with the current system. So you can give a concluding note here. You can give a concluding note after writing these 3 points. A concluding note can be given that because of the above reasons, we can continue with the existing flexible inflation targeting framework. However, some measurement metrics can be revised. You can put a subheading. Again, instead of saying, should India revise measurement metrics, don't do that. Don't say yes. Okay, you give a conclusion and give a link line and go for the other 5, 6, 7 points. So what is the problem? The CPA basket has to be revised. Okay. Again, what you have done in CPA basket, 46% food weightage. Okay. So here, 46% food weightage triggers, not able to understand what you have written here, triggers headline inflation and needs better seasonal adjustment and regionalization. I am not able to understand this. Look, comparing with other developed countries, we cannot reduce the weightage for the food in the CPA basket. India is still a developing economy. Income inequality, wealth inequality is so high. Even today, middle class, if you take 50% of their monthly consumption expenditure goes for food only. So in that case, how can we reduce the weightage of food here? That cannot be the right strategy, right? Revision is fine. But reducing it drastically reducing it like developed countries, that will not work here. Okay. So high food weightage, kindly don't use such word like high food weightage. Say that the food weightage and the beverages weightage can be rationalized by taking into account of the recent consumption pattern in the country, particularly in the urban centers. Okay, like that you can have a recently toned down statement. Okay. Then seventh one, housing measurement distortion. I am not able to understand this. In the previous answer explanation, the best answer had some hedonic pricing mechanism where I was explaining about what is that pricing mechanism. Are you incorporating that point here? That will not work here. I am not able to understand only. Housing measurement distortion. Owner equivalent rent, urban rural housing weight. See, you have to slightly, your answer looks neat, but when I read, I am not able to understand your handwriting particularly. So please focus on that. Seventh point, I am not able to understand. Eighth point, limited sample, manual collection and outdated service pricing, reduced precision, digital scanner, GST data can improve accuracy. I am able to understand what you are trying to say, but this point is not conveying it exactly. Please be more precise and more clear. Okay. Seventh and eighth point, I am not satisfied. So India should retain its inflation anchor while modernizing CPA measurement. The question is regarding FIT. But you are saying inflation in CPA is what is dominating in the conclusion. Through updated basket, better housing indexation and alternative inflation indicators, credible MPC decision. Where is FIT here? Right, your conclusion, this is not the problem which you have done. Most of them, almost everyone, every answer has the same drawback. Okay, I have chosen your answer, that means imagine how others would have written. I would suggest everyone to rewrite. Please go through our answer key. Please everyone you rewrite. Okay, so the question is about FIT. CPA can be one of the point. Right, so for this answer, I would suggest let us continue with the existing flexible inflation targeting mechanism. FIT focuses on 4 areas only, keep that in mind. That 4 areas, what are the positives you highlight? And what kind of revision we can propose? Highlight the revision. While proposing the revision, let CPA basket reforms. CPA basket reforms, let it be one of the point, not the only point. In the conclusion also, try to bring in fiscal policy. FIT will work great, but only along with the fiscal policy and FIT being in sync, or else it will not work out. That can be a conclusion. Fine. That's all. Let's discuss today's editorial. Today we have taken an editorial topic from the Hindu. The topic deals with the air pollution in Delhi, the Delhi air pollution crisis. See, the air pollution problem in Delhi is not a seasonal problem. Rather, it is a permanent public health emergency. See, we know the problem and we also know the solution, how to tackle this pollution. We have the solution, but because of lack of political will, lack of coordination, lack of sustained action, we are not able to solve this perennial air crisis in Delhi. See, the author is highlighting the severity of the problem by quoting certain factual truth. Number one, see, if you are living in Delhi and if you are going to inhale the Delhi polluted air, then your life expectancy will be reduced by 10 years. Yes, your life will be reduced by 10 years if you are going to stay in Delhi and inhale the polluted gases. Right, almost 1.36% of GDP is being spent on the health expenses caused by air pollution in our country. See, a lot of people compromising their lucrative career opportunity in Delhi, they are moving towards other states because of these air crisis. Now, this problem has to be addressed. But before addressing this air problem, the pollution problem, let us try to understand what are the main causes for this air pollution in Delhi. See, it has a mix of reasons. The geography of Delhi is one reason. The weather in Delhi during the winter, that is another reason. And a lot of human activity which we have to understand. One by one we will see. Look at the geography of Delhi. The location of Delhi will give you an impression that Delhi is located in a basin. So imagine Delhi as a basin. Okay. And Delhi is flanked by Aravalis. Okay. So one side of the Delhi, you will have Aravalis as walls. So what happens is, Delhi itself, imagine it like a basin. Now the pollutants, because of various reasons, the pollutants released, that gets settled in this basin. So when you have some cross winds, the pollutants will be going to other places. But unfortunately, we have Aravalis in its side. The Aravalis are not so high, but it is high enough to block the winds entering into Delhi. Now this Aravali is blocking the winds. So what happens? All the pollutants that gets remained in this Delhi basin only. Now you might think the side may be blocked by Aravalis, but what about the top? The gases can escape, right? So what happens is, during the winter, the northern part of India has a high pressure system. Now because of this high pressure system, over Delhi you will see temperature inversion. So usually as you go high, the temperature will decrease. But during the winter season in Delhi, when you go high, the temperature will increase. So what happens is, imagine Delhi as a basin, a hot air will be trapping the cold air below the basin. So imagine a basin, the basin is covered by a lid. That lid is nothing but hot air. Okay, hot air being less denser will be above. Cold air being highly denser, it is going to stay below, and all the pollutants along with the cold air will stay below. It is not able to escape up because above the cold air we have a hot air lid. So like an oven, everything is locked within this basin and the pollutants are not able to escape out of this particular Delhi basin system. So the geography and the weather, the high pressure systems during the winter, these are one important reason why Delhi is not able to escape from this pollution problem, particularly during the winter season. With respect to human activity, in Delhi alone we have more than 3.3 crore registered vehicles. So a lot of nitrous oxide released by these vehicles and particulate matter emission from these vehicles is very, very high, right? And because of rapid urbanization, we see a lot of construction activity which is going on in Delhi. Almost 27% of particulate matter 2.5 emission is coming from this uncontrolled urbanization and construction only. Right? And if you look at the industries, so Delhi is surrounded by a lot of industries and that is releasing a lot of pollution and pollutants. Right? So these are some significant problems. Apart from this, we have some super villains. They come during the winter season. One is the stubble burning. Another one is then the Diwali firecrackers burning. Another one is generally the garbage burning in open air. So these three are super villains. Stubble burning, we all know, we have discussed in the previous editorial discussions only. The crop residue. So in the winter season, if you take the Rajasthan, Western Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, now these states they grow wheat as well as rice. between the wheat harvest and rice sowing, the time will be very, very low. So once one rice harvest and wheat sowing, okay, rice harvest and wheat sowing, the time gap will be very, very low. So once after the rice cultivation, the farmers will burn the crop residue, that is called as stubble burning. And Diwali, nothing to explain about it. So these are all super villains during the winter, which will further increase the pollution crisis in Delhi. Okay, now let me ask the question whether these kind of crises only Delhi is facing, or is there any other country also faces similar problem? There are many cities in the world, they also face similar problem. For example, if you take Los Angeles also, it is flanked by mountain system. Okay, similar to Delhi, they also face similar problem. Okay, London, Beijing. Now, how they are tackling it? If you take London, they have a system called as, clean air zone system. So, important places, they will declare it as clean air zone. Okay, so if a diesel vehicle, assume, if it wants to enter the clean air zone, the vehicle has to pay huge amount of fee, huge amount of charge. Now, fearing this charge only, people in London, they started using electric vehicles. Because without any paying charge, they can use electric vehicles. So in a way, this kind of discrimination motivated the people to go towards electric mobility, clean energy transition. So that has significantly reduced the pollution in London. And not just that, the money collected from these polluting vehicles was used for effective public transport and also to make the older energy inefficient buildings into efficient energy buildings. And if you take Los Angeles, so they came with clean energy transition, more importance were given for clean energy, clean fuels, and stricter enforcement of pollution control measures were also enforced in Los Angeles. If you take Beijing is also known for heavy smog. So what Beijing did, they banned coal burning inside the cities. They banned heavily polluting industries inside the city. They took those industries very far away from the cities. And they also effectively enforced pollution control norms. In just 5 years, Beijing was able to reduce the air pollution by 35%. So when they are able to do you think that India cannot do? It is not that we are not aware of the solution. We are aware of the solution. As I mentioned at the start, because of lack of political will, lack of coordination only, we are not able to achieve this. The author highlights a unique situation which India is facing right now. The states surrounding Delhi and Delhi is now being ruled by one party, that is BJP. So there is going to be a political sync. Okay, so there is going to be a political consensus. So this should be an opportunity, and a unified airshed management plan has to be introduced, is what the author is saying. So there should be a proper plan. Through political coordination and sustained implementation is important. Second thing, we have to move towards electric mobility. Third thing, give priority for the clean energy fuel. Fourth thing, enforce the norms. So we have BS6 norms, but that is not being effectively enforced. We have a lot of construction norms, right? Because from the construction activity, we create a lot of dust. To prevent that, we have a lot of stricter norms, but that is not being enforced. Now that has to be enforced. And also help the farmers. So come up with some effective alternative for stubble burning. So instead of asking the farmers to rent a happy seeder for a charge, let the government take efforts to give that happy seeder for free of cost, so that the farmers are effectively able to move towards stubble burning to something else. Happy seeder is a mission that itself will help in removing the crop residues. Okay, instead of burning, why farmers burn the crop residue? To clear the field. Now if we have a machine, that machine is going to pluck all the crop residue, why they have to burn it only? But the problem is, these happy seeders should be available at an affordable price range. That is the only thing. So make it affordable or make it free only. See, it is agreed, the point is agreed that clean air in Delhi should be a shared responsibility. But however, the political will and sustained action, not seasonal actions, sustained action, only that is going to help Delhi to breathe clean air again. Right? So this is about the article which was discussed. The article was written by Mr. Shashi Tharoor. So I hope you got clarity on what he has discussed here. Now, based on our discussion, I will give you a question. Delhi's air pollution stems from a complex interplay of geography, weather, and human activity. Despite being a known problem with known solutions, the crisis persists. Discuss the reasons. 15-marker question, 250 words. Submit your answer in PDF format to our mail, and once after sending the email, please leave a comment in the video that you have submitted the answer. Right, friends, I will see you tomorrow with another interesting editorial topic. Till then, bye. Take care from Guna Mathivanan.